First question for tonight is, can you explain why my Spy Plus AI account, I'm assuming that means Smartfolio, got rocked harder than just buy and hold over the last 2 years? I want to have faith in the Smartfolios, but I have gone from up 32% to now only 9% for 2 plus years. So, Lee, I mean, we are starting off with a humdinger. So this feels, and we welcome this for everybody at home. If you feel like the AI is not performing, by all means send us this question, just like this person did. They sent it anonymously, and I think I can guess why. Lee, what are your comments on something like this?
Yeah, I mean and I had read this once before, right when we got it, and now I'm starting to maybe second guess myself a little bit. There's so many interpretations I guess I have to make. Like what you
That's true.
said, Spy Plus AI. Like, is that the Spy Plus account? Is that just the one that trades the Spy? Nonetheless, even say it's the Spy Plus, that only has two things in it. Personally, that's one that I used for a long time. And because it only has the Spy and Apple in it, um, it's probably going to look, for lack of a better word, a little bit boring. The AI is either going to have you in those or have you out of them. And we've been out for quite a long time in the Spy Plus, unless we got in recently. I actually just moved out of it, so I wouldn't know. But rest assured, I mean, even if, gosh, I want to say, I don't know the exact numbers here, but I mean, if there's a point where you're up 32% over the last 2 years, like that's freaking incredible. I would say even up 9% the last 2 years is amazing as well. Obviously, last year the S&P lost about 19.6 or so percent, just on the year, so almost 20%. So even if you made 15% this year, which it's about what the market's up so far, maybe a little bit less, you're still reasonably behind. So 9% ahead is way better than that as well. So I don't have a ton else to add, I guess, to that, but again, a buy and hold of Spy and Apple, or even just the Spy, is going to be worse off the last 2 years than what you've had there. So wish I knew who this was so I could try to help them better explain it, but got to do with what we have.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the things about submitting a question anonymously, is that we're not able to help you and give you that custom iFlip experience. If you don't tell us who you are. So I understand why you might want to submit kind of a question of that nature anonymously, but there is a trade-off to that. Towards the end of the question, I want to have faith in Smartfolios, but I have gone from up 32% to now only 9% for 2 plus years. So I'm going to interpret that the way it's written literally and say you are now currently sitting on plus 9% gains over the past 2 years. And that is the chief complaint, if I'm reading this correctly. Let me try to put some context around that. The way that all of our Smartfolios work, we compare ourselves to the S&P or the SPY if you're looking at the stock market. The ES, look at this person says, "Thank you for chiming in, Teresa." Dang, up 9% is pretty good. It is pretty good. It is pretty good, and I'm about to show you, why in just a moment. But just for context, our Smartfolios are designed to beat, I'm putting that in quotes because nothing is going to guaranteed beat anything all the time, but what we compare ourselves against is the S&P 500 or the SPY. So I don't know what this person is comparing to be upset about just 9% gains, but we always keep it consistent. We beat the SPY. Just want to reiterate that and make that abundantly clear. How's that look? Does that look good?
Yep, it's good.
Okay, good. Okay. So this is a candle chart. If you don't know how to read candles, it's super simple. If it's a red candle, it opens at the top and then ends at the bottom. If it's a blue candle, it opens at the bottom and ends at the top. Okay. So this candle is a down month because it started here, ended here, and then the following candle is an up month because it started here, up there. Okay, that's all you really need to know. Forget about the wicks above and below that. You don't really need to know that. Okay. Each bar represents 1 month. Okay. So this person, what I've set up was, because I'm just trying to keep it as as literal as they presented it. They submitted the question in May and they said 2 years. So I rewinded the clock back to 2021 of May, which is right here. And then they submitted the question in May. So that's the last month. This is current month. You can see how we're having a crazy month right now, uncharacteristic of June. Usually June isn't this bullish, but you can see that ignore this last candle. Since May of last year, the market went up like crazy. Then we had the crazy crash of 2022, and then it's recovered. It's just basically gone nowhere, excluding June. Forget the green success. That's just the nature of the tool. That's not what I'm using it for. What I'm using this tool for is to show the performance over the last 24 months, 24 candlesticks in the SPY, and that's minus 0.38%. So when I hear like, oh, buy and hold did better, yours did worse, I have to clarify buy and hold of what? Because usually what we do is we compare ourselves with the easiest, most fundamental form of investing, which is buy and hold the SPY, right? It's pretty much the bread and butter for all index funds. All index funds ultimately just try to get as close to the SPY as possible. Okay, so if your measuring stick is the SPY, and the SPY did minus 0.38% over the past 24 months, and you're up 9%, I think where the pain of loss is coming from probably is the fact that I was up as high as 32 and now I'm only up at 9. I shouldn't have lost so much. But the fact that you were able to cap your losses, and instead of being down 0.38%, you're up 0.9% is actually really good. You're technically beating the market. If you're watching, whoever submitted this question, and you're actually comparing to something else, then please let us know. Please submit a follow-up question where we welcome this. We welcome these kinds of, we welcome the scrutiny of our app. Is there anything that you wanted to add, Lee, to that question?
Not much, and not to discredit the question, but it could be just a misinterpretation of numbers. Just off the top of my head, I'm not sure there was ever a time the last couple of years where individual stocks, yeah, have made 32%, some of them, but like the S&P, I don't think has ever been up 32% over the last 2 years at any, even from its worst to what it is now. Like from the worst of 2022 till now, I doubt it's even close to 32%, but I'm happy to be wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. And just like Teresa said, I feel like I need to reiterate this point. Thank you, Teresa. Dang, up 9 is pretty good. Up 9 is pretty good, as we saw.